Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at social engineering, the art of human hacking, really.
hmm
We're moving beyond just, software vulnerabilities. We're talking about how people get manipulated.
Exactly. And what your sources are highlighting is just how critical this threat is.
Mhm.
It's often the way attackers get in, even with solid tech defenses.
Because it targets us, our trust.
Right. NIST and CISA, that they define it pretty clearly, using deception, building confidence to get access or info they shouldn't have.
So our mission today is basically to get our heads around these techniques, understand how they work, and frankly, why they're such a growing threat.
It's huge. You mentioned a stat earlier.
Yeah, it's pretty staggering. Something like 98% of cyber attacks apparently rely on social engineering in some way.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds about right, unfortunately. It's just effective.
So how are they actually doing it? What are the main methods?
Well, phishing is probably the biggest one most people encounter. You know, those emails or texts.
The ones that look like they're from your bank or like a colleague.
Exactly. Fraudulent communications trying to trick you into giving up sensitive data credentials, financial info, that kind of stuff.
And there are variations, right? Spear phishing.
Yeah, spear phishing is much more targeted. They go after specific individuals or companies.
Yeah.
And whaling is when they target the big fish, the executives.
So what should you look out for? The red flags.
Oh, definitely. Things like suspicious sender addresses, even if they look close. Generic greetings are a big one. Dear customer, instead of your name.
Spoofed links. Bad grammar, maybe.
Yep. Poor grammar, typos, links that don't quite match where they claim to go. Always hover over links before clicking.
Okay. What else is in their toolkit?
Baiting is another one. It uses a false promise to lure you in.
Like leaving an infected USB stick somewhere tempting.
That's the classic physical example. But it happens online, too, like enticing ads or download links that install malware or steal data. It really plays on curiosity or greed.
And pretexting. That sounds a bit more involved.
It is. Pretexting involves creating a whole fabricated scenario, a backstory.
So someone pretending to be, what, IT support? Or maybe the police.
Right, or a bank official, a vendor, anyone plausible. They build this narrative to gain your trust and trick you into revealing sensitive info, SSN, addresses, security details.
Like that fake vendor call trying to verify employee details.
Exactly that kind of thing. It requires more effort, but it can be very effective.
It's amazing how politeness gets exploited, too. Like tailgating.
Oh, yeah, physical security.
Yeah.
Just following someone authorized through a secure door. People often hold the door, It feels rude not to.
So simple, but effective.
Then there's quid pro quo. Literally something for something.
Offering a supposed benefit in exchange for information.
Precisely. Like someone calling, offering fake tech support, but needing your login details to help. Or those fake Social Security Administration calls demanding info.
Right, I've heard about those. There are others, too, briefly, like scareware. Those pop-ups saying you have a virus.
Yeah, scareware, honey traps using fake relationships, dumpster diving for discarded info. Even things like QRL jacking with QR codes. The list goes on.
But underlying all of this, it seems to be about psychology.
Absolutely. That's the core of it. Social engineers are masters at exploiting basic human tendencies.
Like what? Trust.
Trust, definitely. Building rapport. Also, exploiting our deference to authority, creating a sense of urgency or scarcity. Even leveraging curiosity, greed, or our desire to be liked or helpful.
That tendency to obey authority is a powerful one.
Very powerful. And fear, like the fear of missing out, or fear of negative consequences if you don't comply quickly. These cognitive biases and emotional triggers are what they manipulate.
You mentioned Christopher Hadnicke's work earlier.
Right, yeah. His book, Social Engineering, The Art of Human Hacking, is really foundational. He stresses it's not just about tools, it's human psychology.
A tool alone is useless.
But the knowledge of how to leverage and utilize that tool is invaluable. That's his point. It's about understanding how to influence people.
And he gets into some pretty specific techniques, like NLP.
Yeah, neuro-linguistic programming, microexpressions, body language. He calls it neuro-linguistic hacking, NLH, understanding the human infrastructure to, well, hack it.
Sounds intense. But he also talks about defense, right? Building this human firewall.
Crucially, yes. It's not just about the attacks. It's about prevention. And that starts with awareness.
Regular security awareness training.
Yes, and it needs to be ongoing and use real-world examples. NIST's CSF guidelines actually emphasize this. Simulated phishing tests, especially no-notice ones, are really effective.
Gets people thinking.
It does. And fostering a culture where it's okay to be skeptical, where verifying requests through official channels is normal, not seen as obstructive.
Don't just trust an email asking for sensitive info. Pick up the phone, use a known contact number.
Exactly. Never give out sensitive details via email if you can possibly avoid it.
And multi-factor authentication, MFA. That helps too.
Hugely. MFA is probably one of the single best technical controls against the impact of social engineering. Even if they get your password, they likely won't get past that second factor.
So training, culture, verification, and tech like MFA.
And clear policies. Everyone needs to know the procedure for handling sensitive information and unusual requests. Technical filters help, sure, but they're not foolproof.
Because the attacks target us.
Precisely. So understanding the techniques, the psychology, that's our first and best line of defense.
Knowledge really is power here. Definitely worth checking out resources like Hadnaki's book if you want to dive deeper.
Absolutely. In this world so tied to technology, remember, your own awareness, your critical thinking, that's your most valuable asset against these kinds of threats.
Makes you think, doesn't it? What seemingly harmless interaction maybe deserves a second look?